welcome to our second video podcast. I'm Phil, this is Julian from CycleFit. We're in Covent Garden and apparently we're now in Tier 2. And this evening we're going to be talking about a new bike for us, which we're going to be launching and talking about. And Jules is going to be starting a regular piece where we critique professional bike riders' positions in the professional peloton, a controversial subject, which he's well suited to. So let's start straight away with our new model, or new to us, which is a Airnimal Landrace being our name. And this really has come from me, I have to be honest, and it's been with a little bit of a headwind resistance from both Barna and Julian. But it's had the longest product test in history from me because I've been riding this one for 10 years. And this one, sadly, is probably coming to the end of its most useful life. I'm determined to kind of resurrect it slightly. And it's absolutely an astonishing bike. It's probably one of the most functional utilitarian bicycles I've ever owned. And I'm guessing this has probably got, I don't know what, Jules, 35, 40,000, 50,000 miles on it?
It's gone a long way. And we should also say it's a folding bike. That's the key thing.
Yeah, it is indeed a folding bike. So I've owned many folding...
Probably done about 40,000 miles and 200,000 miles on a train.
Yeah, millions of miles on the train, yeah. And I must have folded it hundreds of thousands of times. So I've had several folding bikes because I live quite a long way away. I have to get the train in. My commute at the other end is quite long, 7 or 8 miles. So I have to ride folding bikes. I've had Bromptons, I've had Dahons, and they've all been rubbish, really, for one reason or another. Bromptons, for me, have got probably a 3-mile, 4-mile radius upon which, after that, I want to end my own life. And that's despite the fact that several professional riders, UK professional riders, are lauding them as a wonderful piece of high-tech gear. They're not for me. I fall off them. I don't enjoy riding them. I threw mine away. Jules, you picked it out of the bin, I think, didn't you, and rode it for another few years?
Yeah, a good 5 years out of it.
A good 5 years after I threw it away. Yeah. So I needed a solution. I needed to ride to the station and fold a bike, but it had to be a bike that rode really well. And that's why I picked up an Airnimal, this one here, 10 years ago, and I've ridden it ever since. And I've done coastal pathways in Cornwall on this. I've done a lot of the Pembrokeshire coastline off-road on this. I've ridden it everywhere, on-road, off-road, everywhere. And it's absolutely been fantastic. It's a fantastic bike. It's a British company, Cambridge-based, tiny company, virtually unknown. And they make extraordinary products. This was designed 20 years ago. And they had one kind of maxim that they started with, which was ride on arrival. So it was not so much about the fact that it folded, which it does, but it should ride completely normally, like a normal bike. Mm-hmm. That's their whole raison d'etre, if you like. And it does. You just totally forget you're riding a folding bike. Now, my commute today is 30 miles. I'm riding 15 miles in this morning, and I'm riding 15 miles back. Not on this one, but on that one. So this one, and my 10 years experience riding this, has led to what I think is the perfect example, an exponent of a folding bike, which is this one.
Shall I move this one up? Do you want to move this one?
You can move that one out of the way now, sadly. It's not to leave my life, though. It will be resurrected. So this one here is a prototype of a bike that we're going to be producing. It's going to be in our Landrace grey with branded Landrace, and it'll be made by Airnimal. And this is the spec it will be. It'll be 1x12 electronic, hydraulic brakes back and front, 1.5 to 1.1/8 headset, carbon bar, whatever saddle you choose, Hope hubs, sapling spokes, 24 hole. Whole thing comes in around about 9 kilograms. And it rides like a perfect road bike. You forget you're riding a folding bike.
Yeah, very, very stiff bike. I did ride it because
I made you.
They do a small and a large, and they a small and a medium.
Yep.
But I can get on this one, so it's very versatile size-wise. Super stiff at the back. Went down the embankment, climbs really well. It's a bit twitchy when you first get on it. You're sort of like, it's a bit like a Brompton, but then it settles down. It's much better.
I won't have that. I will not have that. It's not like a Brompton.
Not quite, no.
That's a 26-inch wheel on a 28mm Conti tyre. I mean, I know that I'm used to it, but I just think it feels fantastic. And people have ridden Paris-Brest-Paris on these. They've ridden around the world. Every sportive in Europe has been ridden on by one of these. Extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary bikes. And they're so well made. I mean, that one there, 10 years of a complete beating every year, and it still works. I know it needs a bit of attention, but it still works. So they're astonishingly well built. And
what's the furthest you've ridden on one of these, do you think? You've missed your train a few times, haven't you? You've had to do a bit of a...
I've ridden it all the way in from the Chilterns several times. I've ridden it back from the Chilterns. Probably the longest ride I ever did was the coastal pathway in Pembrokeshire around St David's. Off-road, all off-road, rode it all day. I don't know how far that was, but it was probably 7 or 8 hours in the saddle. And that's the great thing. Well, not that one. That one there has got 24-inch wheels with, I think, 45mm tyres. This one's got 26-inch by 28mm. But that one there, with those tyres, you can ride it anywhere.
Can't you? You can change the wheels on this, can't you?
Yes, you can. And I'm going to suggest that people take 2 sets of wheels. This set for fast road, and then a set of 24-inch with some 1.5 Kojaks on there, Shorby Kojaks. Perfect. You can do anything at that point. Or the marathons like I've got on there, and you can take it off-road, tracks and trails. This is the thing. It can be a commuter, it can be a gravel bike, it can be a mountain bike. People have done road races. You can do literally anything on it.
Because you can also drop bars on it as well. So you could set it, if you wanted, into your road position, and then you can ride it. You can ride it in your road position on the road, and you're getting your training fix in the same position. It's perfect, isn't it?
It is, and that's the thing. You ride it like a normal bike. You forget once you're on it, you're on a folding bike. You do not think you're on a folding bike. And you can do anything on it at all. And you can set it up how you want. So at some point, this one's going to get mud guards, it might get the Kojak tyres, and it'll get set up really for the winter. Right now, it's set up for kind of fast commuting. So who's it perfect for? It's perfect for anybody who's got a longish commute to a train or to a bus or to the office, and then they've got limited space wherever they're going to pack their bike away. But you could also just simply buy it as a great bike, but it takes up less space in your house or your flat.
We've got a few customers who have got them because of that reason. They want a bike to commute on, but they don't want to put another bike in the hallway. So they get one of these and they can fold it down, put it under the stairs, keep it out of the way, and keep their best bike, for the weekends. So very versatile. So fantastic bike.
And I think this is the perfect exponent of it. Having the 1x electronic shifting, the hydraulic brakes, the 1 1/8 and 1.5 carbon fork, bolt, 12mm bolt through axle. I think at that point you've pretty much done everything you can with this.
Yeah.
I think for our one we'll probably take away the caliper, the V-brake braze-ons.
And what gearing have you got on there?
Whatever Barner gave me.
We're meant to be a bit geeky now, aren't we?
170 crank jewels.
40, is that a 42 on there or something?
Yeah, it's like a 42.
Yeah, and you can get up the hill to your house and okay on that?
Yes, so when I leave my house in the morning, I've got 200 metres, warm up, and I go up a 1 in 5. And in the bottom gear, I'm sort of struggling a little. Probably would change the gearing. Yeah, it's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Okay, cool.
So, to summarise, it's a fantastic folding bike, and I'll demonstrate the fold. For anybody who wants a bike that predominantly rides like a real, proper, fast bike, but can fold up very small. This one's £3,700 as it's equipped here, with electronic gears, disc brakes, etc., etc. And this one is a test bike. I mean, it's a prototype, but it's perfectly functioning. It's functioning for me every single day, and will be this evening. But you can also ride it. So if you want to pop in and take it out for a day or a couple of days or a weekend, you're very welcome to. I think you'll be very, very impressed.
So now Phil is going to demonstrate how to fold his Airnimal bike.
There's an inverse relationship between how well a bike folds and how well it rides. So the better it folds, the worse it rides. The better it rides, the worse it folds. And this bike generally follows that maxim. However, it does fold pretty well. Start with the seat post. This is my technique, by the way, nobody else's. Saddle down, front wheel out, lean it against your leg, flick it over. In there. I hope someone's timing me because this could be a world record attempt. That goes in there.
Could get a top Strava ranking on this one.
It's a Strava segment. This.
Hopefully the camera can see you. He's just struggling a little bit with the QR into this special bit, but that's going to go.
As I said, it's a quirky thing. It's a quirky thing.
Trains on the platform.
She's folded now, and now I can wheel her down the road and down the platform.
Very good.
Thanks. Was it a world record?
Probably, yeah.